We on? Okay. Hi. Alright, so before we get started, a very brief disclaimer. Me and Callum and a few other members of the Firebutton team were invited to do a bit of beta testing for this game. Steamforge invited us on. We are not paid members of their staff or anything like that. This copy of the board game is my own and I backed it on Kickstarter. Right, I think that's all the legal mumbo jumbo out of the way, right? So Callum, right, what is the most viewed video on the Firebutton channel to date?
The Resident Evil 2 board game unboxing.
Actually, it's not. It's some Space Hulk Let's Play that got picked up by the algorithm and ran with it. But number 3 is the unboxing. I was going to do one anyway, but I figured that'd be a funny little bit of trivia for you. Don't watch that Space Hulk video. It's already got enough views and I'm embarrassed by it. I'm kidding. Right, so, as we all know, Resident Evil 3 has had a board game released by Steamforge Games. I got this in the mail and immediately went, oh, I'm going to have to beat that out. And I thought, let's do another unboxing because it was so much fun last time. And it actually was, you know. So, are we ready?
No.
God damn it, Cam. Right, okay. So, all I did was open the box and look inside. So, immediately, as you can see, I have my own hair extensions. This stuff, packing stuff. And then we've got a monster box, a hunter monster box. I believe this is a tease for the upcoming Kickstarter for Resident Evil, the board game. As in, it seems to be inspired by the remake as well, which is pretty cool. Last Escape. Next is Kickstarter exclusives box, terrain pack, retro pack. Well, I'm going to get the main board game at this rate. I am swearing. I need to stop swearing. Swearing is bad. We have, I believe, it's extra dice, which comes in its own little cool little vial. So you know, you can now poison your friends with dice. What kind of technology is this? Ah, okay, Raccoon City tiles. Right. Oh, I've got 2 of them. Board game. Is this the board game? No, the City of Ruin. Okay, I think that's like the core, like main expansion. I'm not sure. So much extensions. And last but not least, it seems to be the actual core game itself, which is Resident Evil 3, the board game, Kickstarter edition. Thumbnail. Okay, right. Okay, so first core box. Let's just see what it says. So, it was an ordinary day in Raccoon City, and then the outbreak began. Nothing could stop it. Nothing. And things would never be the same again. Monsters have overtaken the city. Streets, once bustling with life, are deathly still. The only sound, the crackle of fire and undead groans, much like people who respond to my jokes. Occasionally, a scream breaks the silence as a survivor is found and cornered, quickly quietened as teeth bite into the victim's flesh and the light leaves their eyes. Alright, so let's see what's in the main core box, shall we? Now, for viewers at home, don't worry, we are being as safe as we can be despite arming me with a knife. Right. You know we're doing this live and recording it. There's no edits of me taking all this stuff off and making me look fantastic. Because that's too much YouTube magic for this show. Wait, I should actually point out, there's no iconography about players and how many rules on this one, is there? Oh wait, yes there is. So on the back, much like last time, it says 90, 220 minutes, ages 14 plus, and players 1 to 4. Now, I believe that actually boils down to setup time and maybe a game time. That will not be the whole game because there is a lot to get through in these. Right, so what we got? Ooh, is this the tray box or something if I popped open first? Right, so first things first, we have... Ooh, God, this looks so much more squished than I was expecting. We have 2 trays of minis. In it we have the 4 main player characters, several zombies, what appears to be Cerberus, Drain Deimos, Brain Suckers, and that's in this pack. Alright, okay. You have your tension deck cards, you have your, I want to say, boss move cards, and then this actually just seems to be a swish holder, and we got the bosses. we've got Nemesis with rocket launcher. It's going to be hard to show because he's got his own little slot, you see. Nemesis with rocket launcher, the Gravedigger, and then I want to say it's not evolved Nemesis. It's like his second form when he's all angry and has tentacles out. You know, the one that was kind of not in the remake. Let's be fair. Okay, packing stuff. I didn't open this in reverse, did I? No. Right. Oh, cool. Okay. Not what I was expecting to be a piece of paper, but fair enough. This, obviously, a callback to the previous board game. This game contains scenes of explicit violence and gore. It's a shot of the game. No, it's not, is it? I'm not sure if that is a artist rendition. It reminds me of a shot in the game, outside the RPD, but necessarily. And then you have a core mechanic of this game, the City of Ruin board, which is basically your progression board. It's a bit more of a narratively focused, progression-based game. That other YouTubers will have gone through how this mechanically works, but basically this is your progress on the campaign, and this is your crisis gauge for how long before the game is up, which involves, like, you know, various scenario changes and things, and people dying. I think it's meant to symbolise the city being on fire. Right, we also have the rulebook, which is a shot from the original game's title screen, which is very nice. On the back is a reference sheet for how to do the mechanics and things. Next is the ever-important scenario booklet, which actually looks really friggin' awesome. It looks like a bloody Raccoon City map. And it's even got a campaign tracker on the back, although I would probably photocopy that so as to not write on it. Unless I can find some, I don't know, removable pen, or I suppose I could use pencil, Steve. Yeah, that makes more sense. And last but not least, it appears to be the tiles, which are noticeably, not to criticise RE2 the board game, brighter than the previous game's counterparts, as well as health gauges, tokens, doors, various other things. And there's a lot of fire in this game. When you come to it, fire is a big, impassable issue. Am I missing something? I believe I am. Now, Kickstarter backers of this game all have their names on the perimeter, I believe, of this box or the City of Ruin box. I'm not sure if it's the same for both. We'll get there when we get there. Watch it be the non the City of Ruin box when we get there. But yeah, that is the core box for Resident Evil 3 the board game. There's obviously more to get through, models to show off, all those other cool bits. So, let's go. Alright. Next box, City of Ruin, which I believe is like the core expansion to BXB files. As consciousness returns and you blink shadows from your eyes, all you can hear is the ringing in your ears. At first you think it might be from the bells, as you recall racing through the clock tower in search of the gears to sound the great bell. Then the blood drains from your face as the memories begin to surface. Screaming in futility as Nemesis took aim at the rescue helicopter. The blurry sight of the rocket streaking through the sky. The deafening mid-air explosion. Fire and shrapnel falling to the ground. One look at the burning wreckage around you is enough to confirm the truth. The nightmare isn't over. If you want to escape the city, then you must fight on. Alright, so let's see what's in the City of Ruin box, shall we? Much like last time, this one is 90 to 120 minute setup time, ages 14 plus, 1 to 4 players. It also has a nice little thing you won't be able to see on the camera probably. RE3 core game required, which is kind of obvious really. If you want to play the expansion, you normally need the base game. Unless they do like kind of standalone updates, but this is a board game. Do you get standalone DLC for a board game? DLC is downloadable. How do you download a board game, Steve? Well, as it turns out, I'm an idiot. Right, okay. Also, I want to just shout this out very quickly, because I did kind of glaze over it. The aesthetic of these boxes is ominously fantastic. I actually really love the umbrella logo here, and the blood spattering effect. You know, no shilling, it actually looks really good. Plus it's got a nice little handprint, which reminds me of the old Blood PC case. That's an old boomer shooter, don't mind. Alright, okay. Come on. Do it for Steve. Board games are serious business. Right, okay. City, oh my god, that is definitely an artist rendition of the Gravedigger, and I love it. I love it. It's like, you know, ominous. To say it's a boss that's a bit meh in the video game, a giant worm with many teeth. Okay, so in this, we appear to have tiles that are based more around the Dead Factory area. We kind of glazed over them in the previous box because I want people to enjoy and surprise that bit themselves. What's the point of an unboxing, Steve, then? I don't know, okay? I'm winging it. But this one is based on the Dead Factory, for the most part, I believe. Which is the end game for RE3 proper. And in the box we include... Oh my goodness. So we've actually got another Gravedigger. We've got the Frogbois, you know, the Hunter Gammas, as well as Hunter Betas, Final Form Nemesis, and what appears to be the... Oh, I can't remember the name. Little pests. The little sliding worms, I think they're called. Sliding worms. Right. Okay. We also have more key cards and moveset rules for the bosses. Also, of note, if you were some kind of crazy type, I'm pretty sure you could roll this and merge this with RE2 proper. Just maybe keep the cards in some form separate, because that motif is very reminiscent. Alright, okay. So, yeah, looks pretty swish. I mean, look at this bad boy. Next up is the Last Escape box. So, what does this say? This was your last escape, your last chance to find a way out of the city, to make it out with your lives and reach freedom. But yours wasn't the only story that fateful night, and things are seldom so simple. As you ran through the city, lethal new dangers presented themselves, and previously unknown allies stepped into the light. You found yourself in areas of the city you had no idea existed, and became embroiled in shadowy agendas and a much a much larger conspiracy. So you think you've seen Raccoon City and survived the nightmare with all the answers? Think again. Much like the City of Ruin box, this also is the same iconography as in setup time, players, age, and requiring the RE3 core box. It is a noticeably smaller box, but that's no worry to me. That just means there's probably something akin to the G Mutant B file stuff, the malformations of G in the previous board game. I should probably, yeah, take the plastic off. That's always a quality idea. There's something a bit more ominous about these boxes, because obviously the previous game had key art of various things, like you had Brad or Honk, or just, you know, zombies and stuff in general. And the fact they're just like the Umbrella logo and The Last Escape, there's something very nerve-wracking. Ooh, and there's more names on the perimeter of the box. We also have a foursome shot of our 4 core characters, in that you have Nikolai, Mikhail, Jill, and Carlos. Alright, so I believe this is the Last Escape rulebook with scenarios, scenarios, gameplay rules. Another tile, which seems to be a specialist tile, based around, I want to say, boss arenas. Like, we have what appears to be part of the lab on fire, and I want to say the Gravedigger arena from the park. Inside, we feature, alternate sculpts for our main player characters. And Dario, and a few, okay, so we've got, in this, we've got Barry, Murphy, Tyrell, Dario, Brad. Okay, cool, we've got quite a few new characters. There's also crows, spiders, and what appears to be the brain suckers or drain Deimos. The weird flea mutant things that can spit poison. The second tier up ones. We'll get a finer detail when we get there, don't worry. Next, we've got the ancillary boxes. First is the terrain pack, which even has a bit of blurb on the back, which is just, the opening crawl. September 28th, daylight, the monsters have overtaken the city. Somehow, I'm still alive. Like the previous games, it also has the same setup time, age, players, and requires a core game to play, which, we've gone over. Pretty obvious, yes. Motif is very reminiscent, as we've already seen, of the Umbrella logo and blood splatters, which... understated, I will admit, but I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. I think I've already said that. But, redundant comments are what YouTubers do in general, right? Okay. Where's that box? Yeah. Alright. God. Right, okay. In this, we have, appears to be a smattering of things. We have what appears to be many, many doors, cracked walls, and barricades of such. We have... what the it's the bridge. It's the metal bridge where you may or may not push Nemesis or get pushed off of. Various corpses, exploding barrels, typewriters, fire, broken barricades, broken doors. Kind of neat, kind of like it. You always need those features in those kind of games. Fleshes out the board game, I feel, when you've got more 3D objects to interact with. Alright, okay. Okay, so the retro pack is reminiscent of the original box cover. I want to say the American version. On the ooh, very nice. The back is also more reminiscent of a video game as well, where you got various blurb text and setup time requires Core RE3. All right, what does it say? September 28th, daylight. We literally just said that the grisly disaster at the Spencer Mansion was discovered and stopped, but still the virus spread to Raccoon City. The outbreak took everyone by surprise. Hordes of flesh-eating zombies and hideous mutants overtook the streets, trapping you here. Now you must rely on cunning and brute force to escape, and what you'll soon discover is a nightmare created by the Umbrella Corporation is even more horrifying than you ever imagined. The expansion... Okay, so this includes 341 retro-themed cards for your copy of Resident Evil the board game. Let's see what we can see. Nice. One of these days I'm going to stab myself with this thing. It's going to be embarrassing because it'll be on camera. Hi Callum, I see you looking at me like that.
Hello.
Right. Ooh! The box even has the logo on it. Cool. Right, so in this, I believe these are more retro-themed cards based off the UI of RE3. Ooh, and they've got the... you might not be able to see it on the camera, but it's a negative of the... In fact, cams... Can you focus in on that? It's an inverted negative of, I believe, some of the box art. Of Nemesis crushing Brad and just dragging him along because he's such a friendly chap. These are the boss cards. What about the item cards? Okay, so they're very reminiscent of the classic item cards. That's fair. Silhouettes for, I believe, these are items and characters or key items. And are these tension deck cards? These are tension deck cards. All right, very nice. All right. Judging from the previous game, the retro pack had a little Easter egg in the previous game, in that there was a hidden item deck card that was present. I don't know if that's going to be the case for this one. If it is, you will see it in screenshots. I am sure that we can post one up. Right. Last, we have the 3 mini boxes, which are the Hunter Monster Box, and Kickstarter exclusives. Do the exclusives last. Keep you all waiting because I'm mean. All right. Do the monster box first, which I believe are just extra sculpts, but we'll be sure to double check just in case there's some kind of extra items or anything cool hidden in. So in this we have I think they're different sculpts of the Drain Deimos, a plethora of zombies and zombie dogs, some looking like they're on fire, which is a terrifying prospect because dogs on fire that still come at you to try and bite you are, let's just say, unpleasant. Right. Hunter Monster Box. Chances are, I'm fairly certain in this is going to be more Frogbois and Hunter betas. But we'd best be sure, hadn't we? Okay, yep. 2 each. Brilliant. I love the Hunter Gammas. Aesthetically, they're just giant frog monsters that can swallow you whole. And the Hunter betas basically are the hunters from the original game, but with like tumors and stuff all over them, visually speaking. Kinda cool. And now we have the Kickstarter exclusives. What we got? Come on. The problem with Kickstarter games is sometimes you just fire and forget and don't know what you're going to get. So in this we have... Oh, we have Jill. We have quote-unquote Disco Jill. We have Police Officer Jill. We have, I believe, alternate poses for... Oh, is that Biker Jill as well? Cool. Alright, we've got an alternate Barry, alternate Carlos. We even have an RE1 Jill. And I believe that's an alternate Mikhail and Nikolai. So, yeah. Again, you'll see nice little close-ups of them, I am sure. there's only a little bit left to cover on the base stuff that we've got here. So we have the little test tube vial, which is just more dice. These dice should also be compatible with RE2, the board game, fundamentally speaking. I will double check that. You've got obviously a nice little vial. I believe it pops open. Oh wow, it's even got its own little stopper. I'll leave that for a moment. But yeah, looks pretty cool. And we have the Raccoon City tiles for RE2, the board game, which literally do seem like they are touched up, redone versions of the RE2 board game tiles. There's actually 2 packs. They seem to be the same tiles, looking at them, but they do look rather nice. And that is the core content for the game. Okay, so this was the unboxing for Resident Evil 3, the board game. I hope you've had fun. I've been Steve. I've had my illustrious cameraman and sidekick, Callum. Say hello, Callum, and bye-bye, Callum. No doubt that it seems to be a matter of fate now. We will see us again when Stephen Oakley goes and gets the Resident Evil board game as well. You know, because I have a lot of fun with these. And if nothing else, you know, more Resident Evil is never a bad thing. So, oh yeah, I really should say, if you want to hear my thoughts on Resident Evil the board game, I can't say as to when it's going to occur, but plug! First Aid Spray! I'm part of a Resident Evil podcast these days, and we do discuss things which go from pretty much any minutiae of the series, including the soundtrack, the box art, the actual narratives themselves, and we will no doubt be discussing this on a future podcast. So by all means, go check them out. This has been Steve from Firebutton.
I've been Callum. I didn't realise that was my cue.
No, we'll do it.
I've been Callum from Genius in Motion.
Genius in Motion. Yeah, go check out Callum actually, because they have their own YouTube channel where they do edits and things, and they are very, very good at what they do, and they enable me. So I can't really complain at that. So yeah, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, take care. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.